What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to the latest Liverpool transfer news, and in this video we will talk about reports coming out of Germany, especially German publications. Kicker and Bild are reporting that Julian Brandt has negotiated a release clause which is only 25 million euros that will be activated at the end of this season. So Julian Brandt, who is a very exciting German winger, he's a German international, he scored 20 goals in total in the past 2 seasons for Bayer Leverkusen, and he's available for just like 21 million pounds, which is brilliant in my opinion. And I think we can't get a player who is better than Julian Brandt for that little money in today's transfer market. The reason why Brandt has such a small release clause is that his previous release clause was just a measly 12.5 million euros, and when Brandt extended his contract in the 2017-2018 campaign, when Liverpool tried to buy him the last time, they basically doubled his release clause, and at that time that was fine, but the transfer market has gone crazy since then with the transfers of Neymar and Mbappe very recently. Of course, Liverpool signed Mohamed Salah that summer, so I think we didn't make a mistake of not signing Julian Brandt, because Salah scored an incredible 64 goals and got 24 assists in 88 games since signing for Liverpool. But Jurgen Klopp is looking to bolster his team, and Julian Brandt can play in a variety of positions. Of course, his favorite position is on the wing, either as a right winger or as a left winger, but he can play behind the striker or maybe even in an attacking midfield spot. Similarly to Xherdan Shaqiri, he also can play in a lot of positions. So let me know, do you think this would make sense for Liverpool to go for Julian Brandt? And I think this is not the club releasing this news to the media, but rather Julian Brandt's agent, which suggests to me that Julian Brandt is looking to make a transfer move in the summer. And Bayer Leverkusen is not having like a crazy good season, but they are not having a bad season either. They are in mid-table in the Bundesliga, and they are very unlikely to finish in the Champions League places at the moment. So Julian Brandt would probably prefer to trust him at a Champions League club in the Premier League, preferably. And he played for all through the German under 16, 15, under 17, under 18, under 19, under 20 and under 21 games. He actually has a lot of games for them, but he also has 23 games for the German national team, and he played pretty well at the World Cup as well. I was scouting him at the World Cup in 2018 because Liverpool were linked with him at that time. But and he had a couple of decent cameo appearances, and he also, if I remember correctly, he also scored at the World Cup. Oh no, he didn't score at the World Cup, he hit the post, but he had a couple of good appearances. And as I said, he's only 22 years old, and he's actually a quite tall player, 186 centimeters tall, and he can play, as I said, he can play as a winger and as an attacking midfielder. And I think he would do great in Jurgen Klopp's system. And Jurgen Klopp knows the Bundesliga probably better than anybody else in England. And probably after the Premier League, Jurgen Klopp is following the Bundesliga the most closely. So I'm sure that he's aware of what kind of season Julian Brandt is having. There is no wonder that Liverpool signed Naby Keita after Liverpool got Jurgen Klopp as a manager. Naby Keita was lighting up the Bundesliga. He was the player of the season like 2 seasons ago, and now he's showing his promise. And the Bundesliga is probably the only other top league who is the most similar to the Premier League, in that it's kind of a Premier League light. It's also fast-paced, quite physical, and many teams play quite similar style to many of the Premier League teams. So I think if you have to choose 2 leagues who are the most similar in terms of the top 5 leagues, I'm talking about England, Spain, Germany, Italy and France, probably the German league is the most similar to the Premier League. But if anyone of you guys are watching the Bundesliga regularly, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. Feel free to disagree with me, because these videos are just giving my opinion on the latest transfer news, but also I want to hear your opinion in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoy these types of videos, a like is always appreciated. It really helps me out, and YouTube has been failing to put my videos all in the subscriptions, so make sure to ring that bell to push the bell notification so you get notified every time I upload. And Peter Bosz, who used to be the Ajax manager, he's now the Bayer Leverkusen manager. He had a failed stint at Dortmund as well, if I remember correctly. Peter Bosz is using a similar 4-3-3 formation in the Bayer Leverkusen team that to Liverpool use, and Brandt is the most advanced midfielder in that formation. He's sometimes not even playing on the wing, but as an attacking midfielder. If you look at the midfield options and also the backup options for the likes of Salah and Mane, Liverpool desperately need reinforcements. Not desperately, but badly need reinforcements in the summer, in my opinion, because Adam Lallana, it looks like just he can't stay fit. And Shaqiri and Naby Keita are very good options. Oxlade-Chamberlain is also coming back from a long-term injury, and sadly we don't know yet whether Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will be back to the same level that he was before his injury, because sometimes almost a full season injury can really hamper your physical attributes. So I really hope that's not the case, but we can't be 100% sure at the moment. But the good news is that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is still training, but definitely we need another midfielder. And if Salah or Mane get a long-term injury, like a 4 or 5 month injury, then who will step up? I mean, yes, Shaqiri can play on the wing, but he's not as explosive as either Salah or Mane, and I think Julian Brandt would come in handy. He's the kind of player that would be the perfect bench player. If anything happens to any of our front three players, or if we need a different spark, a different attacking dimension, we can bring on Julian Brandt. And against the smaller sides, we could even play Brandt in a 4-2-3-1 formation with Firmino, Salah and Mane, just like how sometimes Xherdan Shaqiri started with them in a similar 4-2-3-1 formation. So there are a lot of options for Liverpool, and honestly, for 25 million euros, can you find a better attacking midfielder slash winger who is very young but who has a great potential, who is already an established Germany international, so a very good footballing nations and international player? And I think under Jurgen Klopp he could develop and he could grow into a very exciting winger of the Premier League. I mean, look at Leroy Sané. He went from Schalke to Manchester City, and Pep Guardiola made him, and Leroy Sané's hard work also, but it made him one of the most exciting young wingers in the Premier League. I'm not saying that Julian Brandt will become as good as Leroy Sané, but the potential is there, and under Jurgen Klopp, very rarely a young player doesn't improve and doesn't get a lot better. So I'm actually excited for this transfer, and let's hope that Liverpool can make it happen. And there has been some very promising injury news regarding Joe Gomez. Jurgen Klopp said that Joe Gomez could be back after the international break, which is a couple of weeks away. He said, I think after the international break Joe should be okay. If nobody gets injured before then, we will have a proper choice. Joe is doing his rehab and looks good, big steps, outside running and all these things. So the international duty is between March 18 to March 26. So Joe Gomez will be back at the end of March, so about a month from now. But he misses 2 more weeks of the season, and he probably misses the next 2 or 3 Premier League games plus the Bayern game. But after that, Joe Gomez will be back, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will also be back. So I'm really looking forward to those 2 players joining into the squad. I just read a very interesting statistic. When Trent Alexander-Arnold is playing, Liverpool are averaging as many points as per game. That equals a 95-point Premier League season, which is title-winning form. And without Trent Alexander-Arnold, Liverpool are averaging a 60-point Premier League season, which is about 6th or 7th place. That is horrendous. Wow, I didn't know that Trent Alexander-Arnold had this much influence and this much, huge difference between, results. Because 95-point season is by far the best Premier League season that Liverpool could ever have. 60-point season is a below average, like 7th place, 8th place. We have been there, we have done that many times in the past 10 years, so we are all too familiar with that. And that's very surprising. I didn't think that a right back like Trent Alexander-Arnold could be that influential, but as it turns out to be, he is that influential. So I really hope that from now until the end of the season, Trent Alexander-Arnold will stay fit, and hopefully Liverpool will go on to win the Premier League title, because a 95-point season will be enough in my opinion. I'm convinced that Man City will drop points, but I just really hope that Liverpool's front three and the midfield rediscovers their goal-scoring touch, because defensively we have been sound. We looked a little bit shaky against the likes of Leicester and West Ham, but since we have been rock solid. But attacking-wise, it was a major disappointment, especially against Manchester United, so I really hope that Liverpool improve. And Gary Neville said what Jurgen Klopp needs to do in order for Liverpool to win the title, and I wonder what you guys think about this. So Gary Neville said it's absolutely critical that Jurgen Klopp retains his composure on the touchline, because they haven't won the league for so long, and it's a club that has been built on championship successes. There is a level of desperation to get one over the line. It's always going to be difficult to get that first league title. I lived through it as a Man United fan in the early 90s. Klopp needs to remain composed, because if he loses his temper or gets too emotional, that will just rebound and affect the players. The players and the fans haven't been there before. Jurgen Klopp has been there before with Dortmund. And that's a very good point. And I don't think Jurgen Klopp is overly emotional. I think he has been very calm. And when the players just don't perform, and when the players look off form, there is not a lot that a manager can do. He can, of course, tweak tactics and maybe send on different players to affect the game. But when almost the whole team is not functioning well, is not playing well, like we did against Manchester United, there is not a whole lot that the manager can do. And Jurgen Klopp himself said that he doesn't really know the exact reason why Liverpool underperformed so much against Man United. We lost our rhythm and we never got it back after those incredible injuries in the first half. 4 injuries in the first half. That must affect the players mentally. And Liverpool couldn't recover. But I really hope that against Watford tonight it's a different game, and hopefully we attack Watford with all our power and get a good win, restore the confidence, and then we shall wait and see what happens between now and the end of the season. But the Watford and Everton games are crucial. We cannot drop points. We must win both games. And I think both games will be very, very difficult, because Watford are in very good form. They just went to Cardiff and won 5-1, I believe. Or was it another team? I'm not sure. But yeah, Watford just won big. So I'm really looking forward to that game. And I will be covering it for you guys. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. See you later. Goodbye.